Hi, it's part 2 of Mrs Splatt's Hall of Horrors, which is our second to last teacher in the world's worst teachers. Where we left her, she was having a face-off with Chewy, one of the girls at the school, who was refusing to eat anything that Mrs Splatt had made. All eyes turned to the dinner lady, who laughed her best evil laugh. Ha, ha, ha! She laughed so hard her false teeth shot out again and landed in the stew. Splot. It splashed the girl from head to toe. Yuck! Exclaimed Chewy. Then she suddenly found herself feeling hotter than hot. Ow! It's burning my skin! Well, I do like my stews to be spicy, said the dinner lady. She reached her iron fist into the pot, sizzle, and pulled out her false teeth before pushing them back into her mouth. I am not eating any of this muck, shouted the girl. You have to eat something, child, replied the dinner lady. Well, I will not. Chewy was defiant. Not even a pea, suggested the dinner lady, mock innocently. A pea? Yes, an incy-wincy little pea. That couldn't do you any harm now, could it, child? The girl was feeling uneasy. It sounded like a trap. Just a pea? Asked Chewy. Just a pea. No sauce on it? No sauce. Not spiced in any way? No spice. Not stuffed with anything? No stuffing. Then all right, announced Chewy. For my lunch today, I will have 1 pea. The dinner lady sported a ghoulish grin. 1 pea coming right up, child. Chewy looked around the troughs of food. There were mountains of the vegetables kids always hated. Brussels sprouts, beetroot, rhubarb, cabbage, broccoli. But no sign whatsoever of peas. Not one. Where exactly is this pea? Demanded the girl. I'm just keeping it warm, child, replied Splat. Then the dinner lady began making the most awful noises with her nose. Snort, snort, snort. What on earth are you doing? Asked the girl. Just retrieving your pea. Snort, snort, snort. With one final snort, a green pellet flew out of her nose and landed on the girl's plate with a ding. The girl stared down at it. I've got a picture there to compare it with a pea and definitely what's not a pea. That's not a pea, she said, not unreasonably. What is it then, child? Purred Splat. A bogey. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, said Splat. No, it's not, replied Chewy. Ha ha! The dinner lady had tricked her. It's not, shouted Chewy in frustration. Shut up and eat your greens. Greens are good for you. Not that kind of green. Eat it. I won't. Oh, yes, you will. Oh, yes, you will. With that, Splat grabbed the girl by the shoulders and sat her down on the bench. Eat, vermin, eat. No! The dinner lady smashed her iron fist down on the dining table, throwing all the plates up into the air. Tring, clatter, clutter, clotter. The children sitting at the table were covered in stew and pie and dumplings. Ah! They cried. It was disgusting being coated in the stuff, although it was preferable to eating it. Eat it or I promise there will be hell to pay, shouted Splat. Once again, her false teeth went flying. Whiz, hitting a boy on the head. Doink! He landed face down in the stew. Splat. I said no, shouted the girl. And there she is. There's the poor boy, going head first down in his stew. Splat was so frustrated she shouted, Vermin! And thumped the wall with her iron fist. Dunk! A cloud of dust exploded across the room. Boosh! Everyone began coughing and spluttering. Splat strained to remove her fist from the wall, but she couldn't. Her fist was stuck there. She yanked and yanked and yanked, but it just wouldn't budge. "Look what you've made me do to my blasted hand, child," she growled. The dinner lady pushed her foot up against the wall to act as a lever. She tugged and tugged and tugged before, plop, her arm plopped clean out of her metal hand. "No!" shouted the dinner lady. Without her iron fist, Splat felt powerless. Not thinking, she unscrewed her wooden leg so she could instill terror. Roll, roll, roll. She bashed the dining table with it. Boosh! "That will be you next, vermin!" If she'd thought first, Splat would have realised that, unlike the flamingo, she was unable to stand on one leg. A look of horror flashed across her face as she realised she'd lost her balance. "No!" Plonk. Before she knew it, Splat was lying face down on the greasy floor of the dining room. Ouch! To make matters worse, her glass eye popped out of its socket and rolled across the floor. Roll. As she scrambled to her knee, her rubber ear dropped off. Thwack. She picked it up and scared the children with it by sticking it right in their faces. "Ah, no! Help!" "Don't think I can't hear you, children," she roared. "Now, vermin, eat that pea." "No!" shouted Chewy. In frustration, Splat yanked off her wig and threw it at the girl. Whoosh! Chewy ducked, and it landed in the stew of the elderly history teacher, Mr. Antiquate. Splosh! "Excuse me, madam," he began. "I think there's a hair in my stew." Still, the old man carried on eating. He actually enjoyed Mrs. Splat's food, but he was the only one. The dinner lady was now half the woman she had been, having lost a leg, a hand, her wig, her left eye and her left ear. Still, she was coming straight for Chewy. "You will eat my snot, you vermin, if it's the last thing you do." "Oh, no, I won't." As quick as a flash, the girl reached into her blazer pocket and pulled out a jumbo pack of bubble gum. The brand was Double Bubble, the most bubblesome bubble gum on earth. Once unwrapped, she stuffed the entire pack of Double Bubble into her mouth and began chewing like a maniac. And then, as soon as she could, Chewy began blowing a bubble. "Shh, shh, shh. No gum in the dining room, vermin!" roared Splat from the dining room floor. Still, Chewy blew and blew and blew and blew. There she is. Shh. First, the bubble was the size of a ping pong ball. Oh, not that big. Then it was the size of a watermelon. "Spit that out at once!" Shh. Next, it was the size of a globe. Shh. Eventually, it was the size of a hot air balloon. "I'm going to pop your bubble for the last time." Splat lifted up her finger to the bubble and tried to stab it with her dirty great nail. Jab, jab, jab. But instead of popping, the bubble enveloped Mrs. Splat. In no time at all, the dinner lady was trapped inside it. "Let me out, you vermin! Let me out!" she cried, slamming her hand against the wall of the pink bubble that imprisoned her. Thwack, thwack, thwack. There's the bubble getting bigger and bigger. And then there's Mrs. Splat inside it. "I need all your help, kids," called out Chewy. "Every single one of you." The children in the dining room all leapt to their feet. "Hold the doors open," ordered the girl. The nearest two children to the dining room double doors did just that. "The rest of you, gather around me and blow." "Blow?" asked the littlest boy. "Trust me, this will only work if we all do it. 3, 2, 1, blow!" All at once, the children did what she said. They pursed their lips and blew as hard as they could. Whoosh! Together, the kids of Slop School created a gust of wind that was so powerful it blew the giant bubblegum bubble, with Splat trapped inside it, out of the Hall of Horrors. The dinner ladies all looked on in wonder as their glorious leader floated past them. "No!" cried Splat, bashing against the wall of bubblegum. She tried to spit her false teeth out to make a hole. Splat! But the teeth bounced off the pink wall and whacked her right on the nose. Boink! "Ouch!" she screamed as she sailed through the doors and out into the playground. "Kids, follow her and keep blowing!" Whoosh! Soon the kids had the bubble floating high in the air. Before you knew it, the evil Mrs. Splat was nothing more than a tiny pink dot in the sky. "Goodbye!" called out Chewy. "Us vermin are going to miss you." All the kids laughed heartily. Ha ha ha! Right, now let's order some pizza, shouted the girl. Yes, they all cheered. And there they are with their lovely pizza after their horrible lunches. Our next teacher, the last teacher, is Mr Phobe. We're going to find out about Mr Phobe's fear. See you next time.